Like, it is a one-to-one copy, almost as if they've just completely taken the code. And I can understand a game wanting...
Okay, we gotta admit, like, that's sick. Like, that's cool. I've never seen a game do something like that.
To mimic another game's systems, because that system is successful, like what the First Descendant did with their game.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're going to be watching a video about this RPG that's similar to Genshin and Warframe. Pretty interesting combo. Not sure how good it's going to be, but apparently it's like a Warframe clone. But yeah, we'll see if it's good. This video is by Tactical Potato. This literally looks like... This literally gives me Wuthering Wave vibes.
Now, about a year ago, we got our very first glimpse at Duet.
Like, more gun-focused.
Night Abyss, an upcoming free-to-play anime-styled RPG developed by Pan Studio and Hero Games. Now, if you're a fan of Warframe or Genshin Impact, then this one might have caught your attention, or any kind of gacha game, that is. It's like a blend of the two with fast-paced combat.
I don't remember the guy's name, but this guy looks like that blonde guy in Genshin, like the I know you guys are gonna think I'm talking about the Traveler or whatever, but I'm talking about like the guy with the eye patch, like with the similar clothing to this. I don't remember his name. I'm terrible with names.
Fluid parkour movement, and of course character customization and character acquisition as well. So the game looks like it combines Genshin's art style with the movement, the crafting, and of course the modding systems that you would expect to find in Warframe. You've got bullet jumping, which they call helix leaping. You've got wall running or hopping, and of course characters that function or have abilities a lot like Warframe's Mesa, Titania, Excalibur, and so on. And you have a modding system with polarities and of course capacity cost.
Why in every anime game do the monster bosses, like monster bosses, all look exactly the fucking same?
Now, my community is predominantly Warframe, which is why I'm going to make those comparisons. It just makes it easier for viewers to understand. Now, we're still unsure as to what form of gacha, if any, Duet Night Abyss will have, but it's definitely free to play, with a technical test coming very soon, and likely a beta, either closed or open, to follow. Now, recently at the Tokyo Game Show... Bro,
that sword is so cool. Also, this girl's so hot, bro, with those guns. Like, holy shit.
Duet Night Abyss showcased more of its gameplay, including combat, a high-level boss fight, level 60, which is on screen right now. They showed their movement mechanics, they showed their weapon crafting, and their upgrade or modding system. Which
I can literally tell just by this UI, because there's multiple characters in the left corner, there's a leveling system, and then the way the abilities work and the health and everything. Like, it's so obvious. Like, this is definitely a gacha. No way this is like Warframe where you just select your character. Like, unless these are real people... But I don't see any other real people on the screen. So I think this is literally just gacha team build, you know, like the usual crap. Oh, I did not mean to turn that on. Oopsie, guys.
They are calling Demon Wedges. The characters that you control in Duet Night Abyss can equip both a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, and they can switch between both mid-combat, like a bow and a scythe, or a laser rifle and a sword.
So wait, in this game, it looks like you make the, like, does she make, like, you beat this boss and then you get, like, gear from her, and that's, like, what she's wearing is the gear you would get from this boss? Because they look super similar, unless that's just coincidence, but I don't think so. And second, this is actually a unique-looking boss. And I know it's not that big, like, that much, like, there's not that much to look at compared to, like, bosses from other games. But considering gacha and what I've seen, like, in Genshin and Wuthering Waves and all that stuff, like, this is a different kind of boss.
And so on. You can summon 2 additional characters from your roster of characters that you've acquired in order to help you in any battle, so that you've got a squad of 3. Those 2 characters or those 2 companions will be AI controlled, and they will fight on their own. Now, the game's movement looks fast-paced action with helix leaps, double jumps, aerial combat, slam attacks, and dodge mechanics in order to avoid incoming attacks. So basically, the movement is very, and I mean very, very similar to what you can expect in Warframe. For its main combat loop, it looks like it revolves around chaining attacks and skills in order to build up a combo. Building up a higher combo and then releasing a charged attack will deal more damage. So the bigger your combo, more damage you can throw out. You can equip any melee weapon or any ranged weapon on any character, so they're interchangeable, with each offering unique passive ability.
Damn, bro, she got aura!
Weapon on any character, so they're interchangeable, with each offering unique passive abilities, basically allowing you to build and personalize to your own playstyle. Certain characters might work better with certain weapons because of that weapon's passive. Characters will have 3 skills, 2 active skills and 1 passive. Skills are then
Damn, can we talk about that dodge with cinema right there?
have 3 skills, 2 active skills and 1 passive. Skills are then fueled by a resource called sanity, which is basically energy or mana, which replenishes during combat. And
Bro, no one who's playing this game's got any sanity left, bro. They're like, you're slowly going mentally ill, and your sanity is your mana bar, bro. That's actually crazy.
abilities have no cooldowns, you just have to manage your sanity levels. Now, it's not an open world game, or at least it doesn't look like one. Not on the scale, I guess, of what Genshin is or Wuthering Waves or one of those. It looks more like it is in terms of Warframe, where it's a large-scale instance area with linear progression. But they did show off what looked like a defense mission during the Tokyo Game Show event.
There's a unicorn.
Now, in terms of character progression or upgrades, like I said, they have a system called Demon Wedges, which is basically very similar to Warframe's modding system. These are equipable upgrades for each character.
This is not the Warframe modded system. He just thinks it is because he's only played Warframe with a similar system. This is the typical gacha relic system. Anyone who has played a single gacha knows this stupid system.
Character and weapon, boosting stats like your sanity, like your power levels, like your skill efficiency, and so on. You will need, however, to balance these with what they're calling a tolerance bar, which limits how many upgrades that you can equip. Again, to compare this to Warframe,
that is similar to Warframe. I don't think most gachas have a tolerance bar for what you can do. But I do have to say something, though. This gacha does look pretty decent for a gacha, though. But I'm just really not into gachas. Like, the only one I played a lot, like, I've played a lot of them because I've played a lot of different games. But the one I played the most was probably Wuthering Waves. Well, I guess I did play a lot of Genshin with my ex, but you get my point.
It is a capacity cost. Each Demon Wedge has a capacity cost.
I should have said a game I played of my free will.
They also have a polarity, and matching the polarities of the Demon Wedge to the polarity on the character or the weapon, of course, will reduce its cost or reduce its tolerance, I guess, to the bar. Loadouts, you're going to be able to create multiple different loadouts for your characters and your weapons in order to share the Demon Wedges across each one. I think on the Tokyo Game Show it showed, I think, 3 different loadout options that you could use, so config A, B, and C. Now, crafting your weapons in Duet Night Abyss is going to be very similar to what you would expect in other games, where you're going to have to fight bosses.
Bro, this is the most confusing character ever. She's a child, but she has white hair and a mustache and elf ears. What the fuck?
In order to gather the resources, whether it's the blade or the weapon, the handle, the hilt, and so on. Then you're going to have to go to the blacksmith and actually craft that weapon. And that weapon will have a real world timer to it. I think the one they showed off in the Tokyo Game Show showed that it took 3 hours in order for that weapon to craft. But he did skip it with real money. So that's at least one microtransaction that we know of. You're going to be able to skip those build timers.
Bro, it's a gacha. Of course there's freaking microtransactions. Would you think there wasn't going to be any microtransactions? Did you think you were going to get all your characters for free? Yeah, if you're a little cuck and fucking play for 30 hours every single day. Jesus.
Now, the boss battle that they showed off during the Tokyo Game Show event was something called a Nocturnal Echoes mode, where you're going to get those special materials and blueprints. Now, whether these are a weekly thing or a daily thing, I'm not entirely sure. I think...
Bro, is it just me, or do all these characters look like children? Or, like, very age confusing?
Most gacha games have them as a weekly thing. But the fight itself was against a level 60 boss, whereas the character was level 80, and he did take a lot of damage, and it did look like...
Bro's getting folded, dude.
Because it was quite powerful, or quite spongy at least. It looked like it took a lot of damage, and it took a while for him to kill it. Now, here's what I took away from what they've shown off at the Tokyo Game Show and what I've looked up about the game since the last 12 months when I've made that first video. Its combat does look good, but maybe that's just because it is very similar to Warframe. However, it does look like it's lacking punch, or at least impact on those melee hits. Crafting is similar to Warframe in that you need to farm weapon parts off bosses and then go and build.
Bro, that's every game, though. Like, that is most RPGs. You have to farm. Like, fucking World of Warcraft, you were doing that, bro. Like, Warframe did not create that system, 1. 2, the only thing I learned from this video is the freaking dev who was playing this sucks. They do have the similar revive system though to Warframe. I saw that where you can like just res after getting your ass cheeks clapped.
Build them, and then they have a build timer attached to them, which I'm okay with since it's only 3 hours and not 12 or 24. Skipping the build timers is also like Warframe, and it is a free-to-play game, so they've got to generate revenue somehow to keep the game alive. Now, the game's movement is literally just Warframe.
See, this would be way cooler if this wasn't a child, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a short girl that looks childlike. I don't know if that's much better, but dude, those tentacles kind of cool for no particular reason.
Like, it is a 1-to-1 copy, almost as if they've
Eldritch
just
Horror?
completely taken the code. And I can understand
Sheesh.
a game wanting
Okay, we gotta admit, like, that's sick. Like, that's cool. I've never seen a game do something like that.
to mimic another game's systems, because that system is successful, like what
That
the First
looks
Descendant
cool.
did with their game, and I guess the modding system out of Warframe as well, and what this is doing with the modding system from Warframe. But Warframe's bullet jumping is signature to their game, and
Yeah, it's
these
very
have
similar
just straight up
combat-wise to
copy
Warframe.
pasted it. There's no denying
even
it
the wall
whatsoever.
running is
so the gacha
crazy.
aspect hasn't been shown or spoken about yet. If it has one, we're all assuming it has one, but they haven't confirmed it. But it does look like that type of
Okay, why does this game have to be a gacha? Like, the combat actually looks sick. Like, the weapons look cool, bro. I feel like I'm getting cucked.
game. Maybe the boss fights are weekly summons, similar to other gacha games, and maybe some bosses will have character pulls or weapons attached to them with random chance of pulling those for real money. Again, we don't know. We know that some of the characters are more than likely tied to the game's
Very
story-related
cute
content, and
penguin.
you're going to be able to get them simply by
Like
playing
creature.
it. But if it is a gacha game, then it's going to have similar mechanics to Genshin or Withering Waves and so on, where the initial start to that game is going to be very generous with drops, but as more content gets added into the game, then the pulls are going to become less and less generous because they've got their claws in you. But let me
Honestly,
know in the
getting
comment
louder
section
and
below what you
faster.
think of Duet Night Abyss, of its similarities, if it's a game you're going to look into or not.
Duet Night Abyss. Oh. Interesting. Okay. You know, it really sucks, guys, because, like, this game actually looks, like, super fun, but the fact that it's gacha, and it's just, like, I can't enjoy gachas, bro. They're so, like, the way they monetize, it's just not for me, man. It's just not for me. I would rather just go gamble in a casino and win off roulette and walk out with $3,000 or something. Like, I'm not, like, realistically, like, 300, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to do all that. But the gameplay looks sick. These weapons look so cool. Like, this weapon right here, is this it? Will you show it? It was literally, like, right at the end. Well, even, like, the sword doing the multiple, like, dashes was really cool, too. This was
Movement
really cool.
is literally
I want to mute the thing. But, like, this was just sick. Like, this whole thing right here, like, look at that. Like, that was cool. Like, the abilities seem cool. Like, the ult, like, that's obviously, like, an ult animation if it works like every other gacha. This is cool. Like, if this just wasn't a gacha, bro, I'd actually be excited for this game. Like, and I don't like that this guy's saying it's a Warframe clone. Like, yes, they took the combat for Warframe. But what you're going to learn throughout your life as you get older is every game and everybody copies off everyone else. No one really makes original work 99% of the time. Usually someone takes something from someone else, like this. They took the combat and they added a twist. Obviously, the combat is not exactly the same as Warframe, but it is obvious there was heavy inspiration, and I'm sure they even copied certain things, like, for example, the wall running and stuff, like, seems very close to that. But that doesn't mean that it's, like, a one-for-one clone. Like, a one-for-one clone is like those games that you see of League of Legends on your phone. If you guys just go on your mobile store, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of those MOBA games that, like, look exactly like League of Legends. Like, I can't remember what it was called, but there was one Legend something that was literally League of Legends. Just reskinned, like, completely reskinned. That's what I qualify as a clone, like a reskinned product. This is obviously not reskinned. This is its own game, trying to do its own thing, taking inspiration from a lot of other games, which is fine. I like a good game. Whether this is going to be good or bad, I don't know. I'm sure people who like gachas will like it. I don't think I will. Unless this turns out to not be a gacha, and it's like more like Warframe where you just pick a character. but we'll see. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about this in the comments below. Do you guys think this is a clone? I personally don't, but you know, I'm willing to debate with you guys in the comments and talk about it. I always try to answer all of your guys' comments and, like, you know, see your side, and hopefully we can, you know, see each other or agree to disagree, you know, depending. And yeah, like and subscribe. See you guys next video. Peace.